morning, guys. Welcome to a steamy morning on Little Hollow Farm. Guess what, guys? We live here. Had to take my glasses off. It is so sticky this morning, but we live here now. I have hundreds of hours of content on my phone, and we've just been far too busy to get that done. But now that we are moved in, we are able to start showing you guys some of what we're doing. So welcome back from us, and continue to share, and we're going to continue to share what we're doing here. So today I want to show you kind of what we've got going on with our gardens. Alright, so we've got a few different things going on with our garden. This is what to make us sound fancy, the upper gardens. The upper gardens are the bane of my existence, and I will tell you why. This is down between my house and Grandpa's house, and this is just for my sweet corn. Now, this pasture used to be horse pasture. Obviously, it's not anymore. So a couple things with that. It's super well fertilized, but there is Kentucky 31 grass, and I have learned that that was planted for the horses because it has a super thick root system, and it, as the horses graze, it keeps them from pulling up, everything you got in the grass. So my dad helped me till this up, and looked great. However, we are fighting the weeds so badly. You can start to see we've got some rows where the corn is coming up. Let me get you down here. Hello, rows of corn. We've got some coming, but it is definitely not full. So at this point, we've started laying some chicken shavings down that we had from our chicks when they were still little and in the brooder. So a little fertilizer and trying to keep the weeds down. So if the grass doesn't choke it out, this will be our sweet corn patch. We planted 200 seeds in here. I would guess we probably have about 75 to 100 plants up right now. Still a good start, but I think I'm going to go to Walmart and just get another package of seeds. My first seeds were Serendipity Triple Sweet Hybrid from Park Seed. Love it. Super tasty. Very sweet. I think I might just fill it in with what I've got left at Walmart. Just because food is food and it doesn't have to be fancy. So I'd like to maximize this space if we can keep it cleaned out. It looks good compared to where it was. But yeah, this is corn patch in what we call the upper gardens. We don't have a ton of equipment yet, so most of our gardening has been done with ye old hoe and rake. So we showed you this at the beginning. On the fence by the upper gardens, we have peas. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, my peas were looking fantastic. They were all super tall. Then we had a visit from our friend we call Francine. Francine is a turkey. Francine apparently likes peas. And so she has come through, and you can see here, she snapped the end off a lot of them. I'm hopeful, since they were so tall and they've got lots of growth and stuff on them, that they will come back up. So I've got to do some redirecting here. On down the fence. This was one of our ideas for the year, to use the old fence, and I think I'm going to continue that next year. So here I've got a pimento pepper, and I forgot I had a second, so that's why it's mixed up. 2 sweet pimento peppers. And then I've got tomatoes growing here, and as they reach the top of this fence, we'll begin to stake them off to the fence, and we can add fishing wire or anything else if they need to trellis or needs some more support. So this first section, we have the 2 pimento peppers. These are cherry tomatoes. These, I'm going to have to look up the name because I can't remember right offhand, but they're a local hybrid. I went to Martin's Country Greenhouse. If you're in Middle Tennessee, it is absolutely worth the trip out to Lobelville. They are only open part of the year, so now's the time to go in the next week or so. But their plants are super healthy. When I put them in, for example, this tomato plant was about here. Is just maybe no more than 6-7 inches high, and they are thriving, and that's been about a week and a half. So I highly recommend them. Their plants are super healthy. They're extremely affordable, and my tomatoes didn't do so well. They were very leggy, and they just did not mature, so I had to go with plants. And at $1.25, couldn't fight it. These are my green beans. These are these are not Kentucky Wonders. They are a pole bean, but I believe they are a French Cobra. I'm trying a few different things this year, but what I liked about the description on these was that they do grow tall, but they have really long pods. So we'll maximize what comes up off of them. And you can notice we got them all the way down the fence. Need to do a little weeding, but they're doing okay. But I really like thin green beans. I think it's a sin in the South to say you don't like Kentucky Wonders. I just don't like them. I don't like the thick flesh on the pod, so sue me. But I really love green beans, and I really love thin green beans. So we're giving these long, thin pods a go. So that's our fence garden and the upper gardens. We have some serious bush hogging to do behind me and some push mowing around the fence. I don't let anyone mow around the fence except for me. That way, if there's a catastrophe too close to the fence garden, it's on me. But yeah, it's going to be a warm one today. It's only about 60, maybe 62, but it is super sticky. So the sweat is flowing. Right here beside the upper gardens, there, as long as I can remember, these have been here. We've got 2 pear trees. I cannot remember the variety, but you can see they are already forming. Last year we had a really heavy pear year. There's some more. And so I was actually thinking this year wouldn't be, there's another pear tree. I was actually thinking this year wouldn't be as good, but it already looks fairly heavy, so we'll see what comes of it. We do have to fight the squirrels for our pears, but I like to make pear sauce out of them, just like applesauce. We make pear honey, we make pear sauce, and sometimes we just dice them up and can them as is. So I'm looking forward to sharing some of our canning adventures with you. But now we're headed down to the lower garden. Alright guys, we are back, and as I said, we like to be bougie and extra and feel special, so these are the lower gardens. Now there's not as much to see as far as growth because this was planted much later than everything up top. It's only been in the ground about a week, most of it, except the turnips. They've been down for a little while, but everything else has been down somewhere between 7 and 10 days, so I'll give you guys a quick tour. So this is our lower garden. Right up here at the front, I did not do super well planting turnips, but they all kind of came up at once. I've kind of thinned them out. I may have to do it one more time. And I've got a few that are trying to come up back here. We had some really torrential rainfall the last few weeks, and when I put them in, I did not do a great job, and so now I know what to do and what not to do next time. This section I'm going to put something vining. I have an old gate that I'm going to prop up and probably run some pickling cucumbers under. Next to the turnips, we've got our squash hills. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squash hills. Let me turn you the right way. My apologies. 5 squash hills. Looks like they all came up. Not sure what happened there. It's kind of cattywampus there. But my son helped me out because we have a hard time not walking through things when we put plants in because we're kids and big kids. So we put rocks around them. We'll take them out soon as they start to vine. But we've got some great looking yellow squash plants. Grandpa loves squash, so we are definitely looking forward to that. You guys can say hello to Megan and Caitlin. They came down out of the house. I like to garden in the morning because it's cooler. Like today, it's beautiful out. It's like 60, 65, and it's going to be like 80 later, which is not terrible, but it's getting that way. So these are potatoes. So I did not bury them deep enough because my eyes had grown super, super tall because I didn't get them in the ground quick enough. So you can see this ground is super wet. Like it's soft, it comes up, but we need to add some more dirt, and it's been super wet, so we're going to add dirt around our potatoes. We put down 12 potato sets. I can see 11 out of 12, so we've done super well there. But you can see they are starting to come up. I've got my super fancy knife in the ground that says Spuds, because, you know, I feel like I should do that. This row, they're very small. They just came up a couple days ago. Got a whole row of okra. They will need to be thinned out in the next week or so, but you can see the row there. We have these, today was the first day I was able to see them. We have 2 rows of carrots. They are like microscopic, but they are here.
Oh my gosh, I saw them yesterday.
And then lastly, down in the corner, in the shade at the moment, but it gets sun the rest of the day, we have 6 rows of corn. This is not sweet corn, this is popcorn. This is Sherman's popcorn. You can kind of see here we got a row coming. We actually have 6 rows of the corn. So we got, I labeled the sticks Jiffy Pop, but you know. So we still have this middle section, whoops, that's going to be all tomatoes. So I'm hoping to put about 60 tomatoes in the middle to add to the 12 I've got up top. So we absolutely love tomatoes. I love them just as they are, but we eat a lot of spaghetti. We like to drink tomato juice, and so we want to put away as many tomatoes as we can. So my kitchen will look like a murder scene later this summer, but I'm looking forward to it. This whole garden, my dad, shout out to Granddad as the kids call him, helped me turn both gardens. He's got a hand tiller, and so he was great and gracious enough to help us get this turned, but we actually accidentally let it grow up too much after we tilled it. So the kids and I last week, we started at about 8:30, 9 o'clock. We stayed out till dark, and we with a hoe and a rake, we cleaned out this garden. So it was actually a really fun day. We kept the fire going in the fire pit and helped burn off a pile that needed to go. And then we cooked on it that night just because we were out here in nasty and already. So we took a break, got the food from the house, brought it down and cooked it over the fire. But we are super happy to be here. Glad to have the back-breaking part of the prep done and just down to weeding and maintaining. But that is our garden update for the spring. Catch you guys soon. So we've weeded a lot today, this morning, after I got done shooting the video, but if you live in Tennessee, you know that this is a real thing. No matter how many times you plow or hoe, they don't call this place Rocky Top for nothing. Yeah. Yep, so this is just in one part of the garden we pulled this stuff up. Some of it was from around the squash, but then, you know, you're just weeding and you keep finding rocks. So may the odds be ever in our favor.